show. We just getting started, so making sure everything is working and our streams are up and correct, and that you can all start watching the show in about 5 minutes time when we start. So I won't do formal introductions just yet. But you do get to join us for 5 minutes while we drive around and see if we can find any animals. It's raining again, everyone, and it rained last night, which is wonderful and great for us. But it's tricky to do game drives while Safari is in the rain. We've got the roof on though, so that does help a little bit. I'm not sure how the animals will be feeling about the rain. It's always wonderful to fall asleep with the sound of the rain in the bush. What do you think, Khat? Much better?
I like it.
Yeah, definitely. Beats the heat, definitely. For a while I thought, I told a lot of my guests, I said, I'm just going to become a winter guide because the temperature's great and I don't really worry about rain too much. It's beautiful in summer in the bush, but it can get very, very hot and muggy. Nice thing though, do you see any tracks this morning? And it's still a bit dark, so it's a bit tricky to spot the tracks, even though we've got the lights of the vehicle on. But if we do see any tracks, it's easier to gauge if they're fresh or not because of the rain. And I heard lions calling this morning, not too long ago, about half an hour ago. So we might head into that area and see if we can find them. But I'm not sure if they were perhaps across our boundary. And I forgot to check, but I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving the other day. Well, mostly our American viewers, but I know some South Africans here who have got family or friends in the United States. They decided to celebrate Thanksgiving too, and I know a lot of the lodges do it, especially because there are a lot of guests from the United States coming out on safari, and when they are out here, they do try and prepare a Thanksgiving lunch or a Thanksgiving dinner. So I hope all of you had a great Thanksgiving. I did see some messages saying that the people, a lot of you had your turkeys basted and ready, and I'm looking forward to some turkey. I was a bit jealous reading that. Although I must admit, I think I'm more of a chicken fan than a turkey fan. Must be the Portuguese background. All right, and then Brent is going to be on drive. And then Jamie will potentially try and walk later if it carries on like this with the drizzle. I don't think she will. She may go to the tent. But Brent will be on the other vehicle. I think he also put his roof on now, so he should be ready fairly soon. All right. So we'll see you all soon on the official drive. Thanks for joining us on the pre-drive. We'll chat to you later.
This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to a wet morning here in the Greater Kruger National Park. There is a baby impala hiding in there somewhere. We're going to try find him now. This is Safari Live. Ready?
Standing by.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Welcome to a very wet Djuma private game reserve. We're wondering if the deluge we've been expecting is on its way. It's rained intermittently through the night. Not much rain yet, I'd say a couple of mils, but will it come? We're predicted to have 120 mils. The roofs are on, and my name is Brent Leo Smith. Welcome, and I've got the incredible VM, the wildebeest Drawnbank, on camera. And as we were leaving camp, we spotted a tiny baby impala. Mom is being quite shy, keeping it hidden from us. Let's see if we get a view from this angle, past the road work tires. Where is the little one? Mom is keeping it quite well hidden. Must be at the back there somewhere. But so far we've got an incessant drizzle. Not too hard yet. So we're going to be out and about trying to see what we can find on this wet morning. Well, that baby impala seems to be very well hidden. But I've got some fantastic news. Not that the weather is playing along. Today is what we call Big Birding Day, or Birding Day in South Africa. So many bird watchers all over the country are trying to compete to get the biggest list possible within a 24-hour period. We, of course, are already, well, what time is it now? 5 hours behind the rest of them. Some of them actually start at midnight to midnight trying to find all the nocturnal species. And well, let's see if over today we can at least, over both safaris, between both vehicles, because it is Big Birding Day, try get to at least between the two vehicles and the bushwalk, at least get to, what do you reckon is a good number, VM?
43.
No, I think that's not ambitious enough. There are termites out, the alates, flying ants, so we could get lots of birds. So I think we should get to at least 50, but let's hope for more. So we're going to try get the birds, of course, with roofs on. You might see a bit of dangling canvas here. Here we go. To keep the equipment wet, to let us stay out longer in this weather. We might have a little difficulty getting some of the flying birds, but we will definitely try. And with termites or alates, flying ants out, we just need to find a good emergence, and we could pile up the bird species there. And of course, we're always looking for everything else as well. And this is 100% live, so enjoy getting wet with us in the African bush. My name is, oh, I've already said that part. I meant to say, you can ask us questions. Hashtag SafariLive or questions at wildearth.tv. It is a wonderful wet Saturday morning here, and we're going to head down towards the south. I know Byron's headed towards the east, where we had the Nkahumas yesterday. Maybe they're still around. While we slowly move forward and try not to get too wet, let's go see what area Byron's in.
Good morning, everybody, officially on our safari. My name is Byron, and with me on camera this morning is Hat, and it is still drizzling quite a bit. Now, Brent, I think, is being a bit optimistic for the Big Birding Day. I'm a bit worried with this weather. It's not easy to bird in weather like this. But you never know. You never know. We could still see quite a few bird species. I've heard some calling, but seeing them in this weather is very difficult. They're not as active as they would be on a clear day. Now, we are right up on the northern boundary of Djuma, the Buffelshoek cut line, and we're going to be heading towards Buffelshoek Dam. I mentioned earlier that I did hear some lions calling earlier, and it sounded like they were coming from this northeastern part of Djuma. So I'm hoping that we do find the lions, whichever lions it was that were calling, and we'll try our best to see what we can find this morning in general. Hopefully, we were just saying we haven't seen herds of elephant or a lot of elephant around. I think all the reason for that, and the main reason for that, is probably because it's been raining so much and there's a lot of food and water all over now. So the elephants, or the animals in general, have just spread out, and they can move in different areas. So I think that's one of the main reasons, but there are still obviously the odd elephant about. We just need to find them. Yeah, Marco, you say that perhaps the Narina Trogon might come out today. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Narina Trogon looks like, let me find it quickly for you, because it is a very, very beautiful bird. I'm not going to find it out here now. I'll find it on my app quickly just to show you. And it is a beautiful bird, but quite scarce in this area. We don't see it very often around here, and they are also hang on, there we go. They are also very, very shy birds. So if you have a look, that is what the picture would look like in the book, the Narina Trogon, and that bright red. I'm going to try and find a photograph for you. Hey, look at that little bird. It is amazing. I've been fortunate enough to see them, but they tend to prefer very, very thick, dense area, almost forest type vegetation, and very, very shy. They're quite clever. I've watched them when they land in trees. They'll turn their backs to you, so you only see that green section over there, and obviously the camouflage. It just blends in so well into its surroundings. But if you're lucky enough to get that red flash, it's almost impossible to miss. And they are beautiful birds. I highly doubt, Marco, we're going to see them, but you never know. You never know. I've seen Narina Trogon in this area before, or in the Sabi Sands, just further south on Londolozi. I've seen Narina Trogon a few times there, but it's not a bird that we get very often around here. Shirley, your question goes hand in hand, I think, with my elephant comment, and you wanted to know about giraffe and why we haven't seen many giraffe around. And it's funny, I was thinking the same thing with the giraffe, and I mean, we've seen the odd zebra about, not as many wildebeest as we did, and I'm thinking to about 3 weeks to a month ago, there were giraffe everywhere. We saw plenty of giraffe, and I think all that's happened is the vegetation, because it's green all over at the moment, the animals have just spread out further and moved into different areas, and that must be the reason. Because I mean, yeah, I can't remember when last I saw giraffe here. And a month ago there were giraffe. We were seeing almost one on every drive. So it's interesting how the movement of animals change depending on the weather, the food and the vegetation and water that's available. See, and I think what happened was, this area that we were situated in, this Djuma area, we were fortunate we got some earth. So what that did was it created this little green belt moving through that. We had vegetation, we had some water congregating in this area because of that. We had green grass shoot up a lot quicker than any of the other areas around here, and I know further south it was still completely dry and barren, but now because the rains have everywhere's got rain, every area, and I think that has changed the landscape and the vegetation drastically. Alright, so I'm going to continue searching lines. Let's head back over to Brent and get an update from him.
Well, we are meandering through the rainy weather, and I'm hoping to find a nice termite emergence. So where the future kings and queens of the termite world escape from the ground, and generally there we might find some frogs, maybe even some snakes, and almost certainly a plethora of avian creatures. And termites attract all sorts of birds, from the biggest raptors to the smallest testiculars. Aha, I think our first bird of Big Birding Day is up ahead. Now, when you're not using a camera, this weather is actually some of the best birding weather you can get, because the birds stay active for much longer. Oh, where did that bird fly? Oh, it's disappeared. They disappeared. Okay, we can hear lots of birds. Okay. Let's have a look. No birds just yet. I can hear a scrub robin calling, but it's deep inside the bush. Hello, Jay. Jay says his bird list screenshot folder is full of screenshots, but he's lacking one of our more common species, the Cape turtle dove, and would like us to try get one on camera. Indeed we shall. And okay, we got some termites flying here. Where are they coming from? Just random single ones at the moment. We want to find where they're emerging from the ground, and that's where we're going to find our congregation of creatures. Okay. Oh, very, very quiet. On the antelope front, they're going to be quite nervous. I think they probably... There we go. Our first bird of Big Birding Day, and a beautiful, striking bird it is. You got him, Vim? Going to be opposite you now. And he's going to definitely be taking advantage of the termite alates. There we go, the Woodlands Kingfisher, #1. Now, I've discovered that my bird app has a very useful tool on it, and it is a list maker. So we shall create a new list today for Big Birding Day. Oh, there goes the Woodlands, and definitely after the alates. Okay, my lists, add Big Birding Day, BBD. That's much easier than typing it all out. And date, today, and that is the one we shall be using. So, there we go, Big Birding Day, and our first on the list shall be the Woodlands Kingfisher. Woodlands Kingfisher, there we go, and tick! #1. Yay! Now we're off to a not so flying start, but hopefully as the morning progresses we're going to be able to steam along steadily to try and get to that magical 50 birds. We're not going to try to do it in one drive due to the weather. I think we should do it over 2 drives and using both vehicles. Since it is Big Birding Day, we'll work as a team. And bushwalk, of course, or tent, depending. Good morrow, Aaron, in the land of the long white cloud. Of course, if those of you not sure where that is New Zealand. And Aaron would like to see some water birds today. Indeed we shall. Hopefully they'll be out and about around the pans. We can look for some sandpipers, and if we're really lucky, we might see a snipe. But of course the normal water birds should be around. The Egyptian goose, blacksmith lapwings, three-banded plovers and the like. Let's hope we don't find any wild dogs today, because I think trying to keep up with them with the roof will be impossible. Let's take a meander down towards the treehouse waterhole. Of course, being Big Birding Day, it feels like the birds seem to think they need to give us a challenge today. Now, as I said, all we need to do is find a nice termite emergence, and we should rack up the species. From warburgs, tawny, steppe eagles, I've even seen white-backed vultures feasting upon the termites as they emerge. Now, of course, apart from termites, rains like this are going to cause an explosion of insect life, and who knows, maybe we shall see some of it today. Normally it's the day after. So far, we haven't been lucky enough to find an emergence. We've just got one or two single alates flying about. So, where are the termites emerging? Now, as I said, with this type of weather, we might be lucky enough to come across some slithering creatures. Now, we've seen the woodlands kingfisher as our first bird for Big Birding Day, and Mindwarp says, is there a kingfisher that looks exactly like a woodlands kingfisher but is called something else? There is. What we're going to do is I'm just going to get down to the edge of the water, have a look for birds, and then Mindwarp I shall show you. It does look slightly different, but they are very similar looking, although we're definitely not going to get the other one in this vicinity. It is normally a coastal species sticking to estuaries around the ocean, and that's because it has a very particular habitat. And unlike the woodlands kingfisher, which is an insectivorous kingfisher mostly, this one is very much a pescatarian, a fish-eating kingfisher. So, okay, let's see if we get any water birds at the treehouse waterhole. Now, there could be a strong possibility that a lot of the water birds will be around the seasonal pans rather than the man-made pans today. Oh, we're nearly there. I'm not seeing any water birds just yet. Bless you, Vim. Vim is sneezing away behind me. Okay, let's have a quick look. What do we got here? I can hear some birdies. No water birds. But there we go. A rattling cisticola will be bird number 2 on the list if it decides it doesn't disappear. Top of this thorny bush there, about there, Vim. Where is he now? I'm out a little bit. Let me see if I can. Psst, 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 psst. Did he do a disappearing act? Oh dear. Oh, anyway, so there we go. For Mindwarp, there's the woodlands kingfisher at the bottom, and there's the mangrove kingfisher. Now look at the bills. The bills are where the difference is, and around the eye. So you see the bottom of a woodlands kingfisher is black, the bill, and it's got those very fancy looking sunglasses around its eye. The mangrove kingfisher has got a completely red beak, unless it's a juvenile, which only have a black tip. But his sunglasses aren't as fancy as the woodlands kingfisher. So there we go. There's those two kingfisher species that look the same. This rattling testicular has escaped. I can hear him calling. So while I go try find him, let's go see what Byron's got.
We've got some large antelope here that probably don't mind the rain as much. And these are two beautiful waterbuck, a male and a female. And it's the female on the left without the horns is busy looking at us at the moment. You can see that very prominent white ring around the rump. And she might drop some dung or not. And they've got very shaggy coats, and that's the male to the right. You might be seeing him there. See those beautiful horns. Nice big male. Now, why I was saying that they don't really mind the rain very much is because they do tend to have fairly oily coats, so the water probably drips off of them quite easily and doesn't really soak in as much. But they will still get wet, definitely, without a doubt, in the rain. But waterbuck are reliant on water, so weather like this is great for them. That female's just moved off, but that male's still standing there. Beautiful, beautiful antelope. And one of the defense mechanisms, we've spoken about it before, is they'll run through water because they are usually found around water holes and dams. If they are chased by predators, they will run through the water to try and get away. Easy to recognize the waterbuck, the uniform grey color and that white ring around the rump. Enjoying some of the green grass at the moment. I did see some impala up ahead too. I would like to look for, and hang on, just I saw a bird fly into the tree up ahead. I'm just going to see if it's still sitting there, as I know Brent's also keen on doing some birding this morning. Can't see it now. I just saw a dove that is also in there, in the tree just up ahead on the right. We'll see, we might get it flying off. Cape turtle dove, I can hear it calling. Work harder, work harder, work harder. Let's see. There's also, I think that was it, that just flew off very, very quick, unfortunately. So I was saying we saw some impala around here, but what I've found is happening. Jay, you were looking for a Cape Turtle Dove. I'm sorry, we will try to find one and get it on screen for you. And just I mentioned the impala that were in this area, and I think what's happening, because there are some lambs around, and I did see some lambs in this herd, they seem to be a little bit more nervous and a little bit more skittish, and I think it's purely because they want to be careful. They've got these new lambs and they don't like too much movement around them from things that they don't know, so like the vehicle, my voice, and something that will create a bit of noise and cause the lambs to be a bit nervous. So they seem to be moving off very quickly from the vehicles at the moment, unfortunately, but you never know, we may still see some more, but definitely more little lambs around, which is great. It's a wonderful time of year to see all of these little lambs bounding about. All right, let's head back to Brent and see if he's got any more birds to show you.
Oh, indeed we do. We have a bird who's wandering away from his normal habitat, and that's probably because there's a lot of food out there now. Just trying to get a glimpse. There it is. You got him, Vim? In the gap. There we go. An Egyptian goose. Number 2 on the birding big day list. Now we mustn't forget to add it to our list. Goose. Now I can hear quite a lot of other birds around. There we go, added to the list, the Egyptian goose. Now the reason they're all the way out there, feeding away, is Egyptian goose are actually grazers. So they're after all the fresh grass, so they will move away from the water to feed while they pick at the grass. Now I can hear some other birds behind us, so we're going to go this way. And one sounded quite close to the road, which is good for us. And it sounded like a little white-bellied sunbird chirping away. So let's just get a little bit of speed and then get into the freewheel zone so we can hear everything around us. Have you got him? Left bottom, let's have a look. Oh, well spotted anyway, Vim. Oh, he's got a flying ant! Now, that is a southern black flycatcher, not a fork-tailed drongo, although they look quite similar. Oof, that's a nice one for the list. And he's got one of those alates I was talking about. Those future kings and queens of the termite world. Off he goes. Southern black flycatcher. Yay! That's a nice one to get. Now, the fact that he's got termite alates in his mouth means that we might be close to finding an emergence. Oh, the rain suddenly got a little harder. Or we're driving directly into it, one of the two. What do you think, Vim? I think we're driving into it. Now, from the south and east, this is the area where we get the majority of our rain from. Where are you going to land? You're going to be able to get that guy there, Vim. In this tall knobthorn, top right-hand side. What have we got there? That looked like... There we go. Oh, that is not the southern black flycatcher. That is, of course... Oh, off it goes, the fork-tailed drongo. Noisy. Okay, we need to keep up to date. Otherwise, we're going to get overtaken drongo. Not the square-tailed, but the fork-tailed. Okay, we're getting there after a slow birding start. I think we really need to find a nice emergence. I think we might need to check the Mawati River as well. Oh, there's one more bird for us. So definitely the fact that there was that flycatcher with quite a few termites in its mouth means that there are going to be more birds around this particular area. Vim, on the other side of the drainage, right at the top of that little Ziziphus. Here we go. What have we got there? This light makes it very difficult. There's another drongo. Indeed it is. I thought it might be a starling. Okay, carrying on. So for a lot of your insectivorous birds, this is a time of plenty. Oh, Michael, you had to do that, Michael. You had to just bring up the white-throated robin, the nemesis bird. Now, we have seen them. We've had them on camera once. I see them regularly, but it's getting them on camera that's the trick, and I hear them calling even more regularly. Okay, I'm just going to get a little bit of speed so we can freewheel again. It's the drongos calling there. Well, at least it's heavy drizzle rather than downpour rain, so we are able to operate. And we're just going to go very slowly this morning, and it is a wonderful experience to actually be out in the bush when it's wet, and you quite often, as I said, can see things we're not normally seeing. Let's just listen for a second and plan where we're going to go next. So the birds are going to be very vocal on a wet, misty morning like this. Ooh, I hear some robins. Scrub robins though, and unfortunately not the white-throated. Okay, we know where we're going. We're going down towards the Treehouse River system where it crosses Weaver's Nest. And also I want to change direction so we're not driving directly into the rain. Fortunately for me, I've got my rain suit on today, as you can see. And if worst comes to worst, I can always do this as well, although it looks a little ridiculous, so we won't be doing that just now. It's not quite wet enough for that. And of course with this new roof, if it gets really, really wet, we just drop down the sides and we sit and wait till it's to stop raining hard enough that we can make our way back towards camp or carry on with drive. Okay, so this is the little spot where we heard quite a few bird calls coming from. It's much better not driving directly into where the weather's coming from. Okay, so there was some francolin calling in this area. There was a robin calling. I can hear you, francolins. I think I know where to see you from. Okay. Calling from in these thickets here, it sounded like crested francolins. Again, taking us straight into the weather. Whoops, a daisy. Where have they gone? Now, let me tell you, since this is birding big day, what my personal best, or our team, because you quite often do it in teams, what our personal, oh there we go, that's who was calling, we found them. Oh, get out the list. The crested francolin, feeding in some old buffalo dung. Francolin crested. There we go. Tick. Slow but steady. Oh, see what they're doing? You can actually see what they're eating there. They're kicking over the buffalo dung, exposing some very small white termites, and that's what they are picking up extensively. There we go, look at that. Look like Micromydes termites. Hide, guys, hide! Well, there's nowhere to hide from a hungry crested francolin pair. Oh, another bird that I've seen quite a few times, but we haven't managed to get on camera yet, is the European golden oriole, which has arrived recently. Yum, 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 yum. Turtle Tracking says they would love to see a storm petrel. It seems appropriate. Turtle Tracking, I don't think there has ever been a storm petrel this far inland. Storm petrels are birds that live out at sea, nest generally on islands. Nowhere do you see them very close to the mainland. They're normally at closest a good 2 or 3 kilometers offshore, the storm petrels. I've seen them while fishing offshore, but I've never seen one on land in Africa. But But who knows, maybe with the strange weather, there's going to be a very confused storm petrel. Hi, Liz. Now, since it's birding day, Liz would like to know, have Byron or myself ever seen the penguins that make Africa their home? I have seen them. I'm pretty sure Byron's seen them as well. And they are now called the African penguins, but they used to have a much better name in my opinion. They used to be called the jackass penguins, and that's because their call sounds very much like a donkey's bray. But they are now being reclassed or renamed as African penguins, but their old name was a jackass penguin. I prefer the first name. What do you think, Fim? Jackass. And then you can also say jackass penguin and not get into trouble. Oh, what do we have there? Those are quite fresh. Those are actually very fresh. Very, very fresh, but I think we're probably an hour. Let's have a look how much rain's on top. Now, wouldn't that be a treat if we managed to find one of these in the rain? Now, I want to have a look how much rain's on top. Which one's best, Fim? Is that one okay? Yeah. Okay, so what I'm looking at, you can see, if I put my finger in, see it's slightly darker. See, this is darker, and I'm trying to look carefully now. So if I do this next to it, this is very fresh. This is in the last 20 minutes or so, especially with that rain. This is an aardvark track. Where have you gone, Mr. Aardvark? Let's have a quick look. Oh, look, Aardvark stopped here. Ooh, termite, termite. Oh, termite. And then when did you go after going, oh, termite? Da-dum, da-dum. Digging, digging, digging. Eating some ants over here. Where did you go? There. Okay. Let's move a little bit further down the road. Wouldn't that be a coup to find an aardvark in the rain? Even though it is birding day, I would be most ecstatic to see an aardvark in the rain. There is a chance with this weather that it might stay out a bit longer than they usually would, as those tracks are already telling us. Now, for those of you not sure what an aardvark is, aardvark, basically translated from Afrikaans, means earth pig. It is a massive anteater. They can get very, very big. That looks like the tracks of a big male, and they can weigh upward of 150 pounds. Okay, now where to? We've got hyena tracks as well. It looks like it's done. No, he hasn't gone that way. Let's keep checking down the road a little bit. No excavations on the mound. Those are very fresh aardvark tracks. Oh, I think he's probably on his way home. Well, we'll keep checking. Maybe he's moving down the edge of the drainage. We are making our way towards the wonderful Milwaukee riverbed, where we're hoping to find lots of other birds. Now, the dark morph Wahlberg's eagle nest is up ahead, but I think they're probably out and about eating alates rather than sitting around doing nothing this morning. Okay, here's the corner where I'm hoping the aardvark tracks come out again. If they do, hasn't come out here. Okay, let's check the Wahlberg's eagle nest quickly. Oh, this roof makes bird watching a little difficult. I think it's a bird we'll find later. It's a hornbill, but we're not going to be able to see him. He's up in the tree under the roof. Okay. You think we're going to see the Wahlberg's eagle? This is the dark morph Wahlbergs. These ones are close to twin dams, not the ones that are closer to the dam cam. But, ooh, this is sounding good in this area. I can't see the Wahlbergs, but we can hear. There we go. Let's go for the orange-breasted bushshrike first. There. We can hear an orange-breasted bushshrike calling, but there's another bird in there. Oh, sorry, Vim. Just wait for him to flick. Oh, he's gone off. You got him? If we come out and off to the right, sorry, there's I think it's to the right, or you in the right spot? No, you're in the right spot. Sorry, I apologize profusely, Vim. A little bit further up. I'm just waiting to get that viewer's beautiful orange chest. Where's he gone? He's hiding. Oh. I'm going to try a little trick quickly. Psh, 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 psh. Not working. There we go. We'll get a turtle dove. Cape turtle dove. Liam has spotted one. Not there we go. Cape turtle dove. Oh, must put it on the list. Jay, there we go. Just for you, a very wet Cape turtle dove. Also sometimes referred to as a ring-necked dove. But from what I can hear around us, we've made our way into the right area for Big Birding Day. Let's get deeper into the Moati while we get into a spot to find you all the feathered friends. Let's go see how Byron's doing.
So we have found tracks of the Pride, possibly in Kahuma Pride, that are moving through this area, but the thing is, the tracks that I've seen, some of them are actually before the rain, so the rain's fallen on top of the tracks, so those lines most likely moved around during the course of the evening. So I'm just looping around and trying to find out exactly where they've gone. And if they have in fact crossed our boundary or not. Also some tracks of an elephant bull in this area, so I'm hoping we're almost at Buffelshoek Dam, so I'm hoping that when we get there we might see something. But we haven't had too much luck just yet. Would be nice to find a big elephant bull in this rain. I'm sure they get that dark grey colour when they get wet, so it'll be a wonderful picture. It's been a bit quiet on the wildlife front so far this morning, and as we said before, the weather definitely affects the movement of animals. We've seen a few impala and that running around, but they're all trying to move through the thickets and stay out of the rain. Michael, favorite bird call for me is, well, there are a few. I've got a few. A good friend of mine, we always used to enjoy, we'd sit out in the bush at night and we'd listen to the nocturnal birds. And one of the nocturnal birds that we enjoyed was the Scops owl, little Scops owlet. And it's got a funny little call. It sounds like it's going, kurr, kurr, kurr. Oh, there you go. Gert is much better at the scops I'll call than I am. And try again, Gert. Yeah, there we go. That's it. It's a wonderful, wonderful call. And they very, 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 very loud, and you can hear them constantly calling. The other one, an other nocturnal bird that I really enjoy is the fiery-necked nightjar. And that, let's see if I can do it. Gert says he can't do it. No, wait, how does it go again? Sure, now I'm trying to think. I'm doubting myself here. Does that sound right? Almost. Let me tell you what, let's get the app out quickly. Let's just double check. I heard them calling this morning, early this morning, when it's still dark. And the nightjar's got a wonderful, wonderful call. The fiery-necked nightjar. One of my favorite calls. Yeah, no, I wasn't very good. Listen. Hear that call. That's definitely one of my favorite calls. Fiery-necked nightjar. Hang on, is that a bird of prey up in the tree over there? Let me just stop this. A vulture sitting up. It's just got its wings and head tucked in. Trying to stay out of the rain. A few vultures around sitting. I can just see a few dots around. You might not be able to see them now, but there's about 3 or 4 dotted around. And all that it is, I think they're just roosting on these trees. Another. Sorry, I'm just listening. I thought I heard some alarm calls from Franklin. So they do give an alarm call. I'm just listening and trying to have a look around. Yeah, the Franklins are definitely alarm calling. It's like a something like that. It's not very good. But look at this vulture. Feathers ruffled up. They're wet. They're not very comfortable in the rain. So what they've done is they've chosen trees that are very open, even though it doesn't make sense, but it's easier for them to land on these trees and take off if they have to. I just want to have a look a little bit forward. I'm curious to know what this Franklin is alarm calling at now. It's right down in this drainage line off to my left. Oh, the road's a little slippery from the rain. No, I wonder. Anyway, what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to investigate quickly this area where this Franklin is alarm calling at. Brent, I think, managed to find the Wahlberg's eagle. Let's head over to him and get an update.
A very, very wet-looking Wahlberg's eagle sitting atop a dead knob thorn. Oh, sorry, a dead leadwood branch. There we go. There's a pale morph. I was looking for the dark morph, but I'll take a pale morph. There we go. Slightly bedraggled this morning. Now, of course, they've travelled a long way from the Sahel region of Africa, and you can see that distinct little crest. Okay, well, let's leave the Wahlbergs and keep heading on. I hear a lot of birds. Sounds like some green pigeons and all sorts. Okay. Okay, we heard some green pigeons. Now, we're also coming up towards Twin Dam, so there might be some water birds around. Well, our plan is to head all the way down to our southern boundary, and from there, oh, oh no, don't do it, you terrible creature. Is it gonna land again? Yes, it is. So when, Vim? Oh, there he goes, He's landing on the dead tree. Okay. A little bit to the left, Vim. No, out a bit, and far to the left. There we go. Got him. Zoom a little bit more to the, there we go. The African hoopoe. Okay, another one for our list. Oh, we're getting there, slowly but steady. Hoopoe, tick. African hoopoe, tick. They also, even though they've got that scimitar bill that's made for prying into crevices and under bark, with termite alates around, they'll definitely be feeding off those. So as I was saying before, I spotted the hoopoe. We're going to go down to the southern boundary. Apparently there are lion tracks in this area as well, so you know, we might just be slowly birding and stumble over the Nkuhumas. Now we've got two choices now. We can either do the Mawati exclusively for birds, which we can do later, which might be not a bad idea. Okay, now I'm checking for water birds. Now I have mentioned the word emergence quite a few times today, and Sylvia is wondering, what is an emergence? Brent, please explain. An emergence is when the adult termites, well, the drones and future queens of the termite colony are expelled from their current colony. They emerge from the ground and then fly off and pair off and start forming new termite colonies. So that is an emergence. You can have emergences of termites. You can have emergences of ants, different ant species when the winged adults move off. What else can emerge? I suppose you can have an emergence of wildflowers, but generally it's referred to winged future kings and queens of colonial insects leaving their natal home. Oh, Herbie's trying to call me. Herb, whereabouts? Oh. Okay. Oh, interesting. I need to chat to... Let me just chat to Byron quickly. Okay, sorry, the radio is very, very busy. Now let's have a look around here. This is always a good spot as we approach the Mawati to bird. Byron. What you got? Lion. Oh, lion tracks. VM's got lion tracks next to the road. Oh, in the mud. Those are nice and clear. Byron, do you copy? Okay, I've just got a report. Byron, I'm not sure where Byron is, but I think he's around Buffelshoek Dam, and I've just got a report of lions about 200 meters up the road, and not the Nkuhumas. So let's go have a quick look, and once Byron's up and running, then we can maybe swap out and I can continue birding, since it is birding big day after all. Rex, I'm on Gari Main Mawati. Can I come join you? I haven't seen any of the Styx lionesses for quite some time. Oh, but I can hear Bard Owlet calling. We'll definitely have to come back and look for him. Now, while we're making our way, we're very close towards close to those lines. They are right on the boundary. That's why I'm heading straight there. I'm hoping it's not in too precarious an area that we can't get in with the roof, but we will see shortly. Fortunately, we have a zoom on the camera. This is the lion tracks. I'm pretty sure it's the same ones that Rexon's found. Herbie Byron's from Vignal. Oh, guinea fowls. We're not going to pass up on those for the bird list. There we go. Helmeted guinea fowls. Now they are also going to be, oh, and they're very fast running. As you can see, they're mostly ground birds. The only time they actually put up into the air is if they are... What was that noise, Vim? Did you hear that? Is it the camera? Oh dear. Now, anyway, we must add guinea fowl to our birding big day list. So remember, you guys out there at home must keep a track of both Byron and my birds. I'll keep a track of my birds, and I'm hoping that we are going to get to that magical 50 over the 2 drives. I think if we get a bit of sunshine on the Sunset Safari, or if it stays like this, the birding is actually going to be phenomenal. I think I might even go out between drives to do my own big birding day list. We'll have to see. You never know, maybe the lions are going to lead us to the rarest bird we see today. Okay, so we're about 70-80 meters from where Rexon found, it says, what sounds like to be 2 Styx lionesses, and we're going to be there in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Can see Rexon's car. Sorry, chat to Byron. Byron Rex has got 2 Styx lionesses, cheetah cut line at the old hyena den. I'm here at the moment, but if you make your way, I'll swap out with you and continue birding. Oh, there they are, right next to us. Now, I haven't seen the Styx lionesses for quite some time, so it'll be interesting to see how the mange is faring after a bit of rain. There we go. They're looking quite a bit better than they were the last time I saw them. The mange has definitely abated a little bit. There we go. Now they've been up and down. Of course, the third lioness has got little cubs at the moment, so she's not going to be wandering too far. And this is the first time I've seen the Styx on Djuma for a long time. There we go. Now, the Styx Pride, and for those of you who might not know, they lost 8 cubs to mange during the drought, but the oldest females already had new cubs, and it's probably not too long before these 2 start showing signs of pregnancy. Hey girls. Now I hear Byron's got tracks of the Inkumas around Buffelshoek as well. I just thought we'd have a quick check-in with the Styx. Let me just roll backward a little bit, maybe we can see the second lioness. There we go. Hi Sarah, who's in the United Kingdom. She says this show is her latest obsession, and she'd like to know how many cubs can a lion have in a single litter, and how long are they pregnant for? So, like most predators, they have very short gestation periods. The gestation period of a lion is between 90 and 110 days, so very, very short. And that reason for that is because they have such a high cub mortality. About 70% of all lion cubs that are born in the wild die. And the largest ever recorded litter of lions in the wild is, I think if I remember correctly, it's 6 from Nairobi National Park in Kenya. Generally, the average is 1 to 4 cubs. In captivity, the largest ever litter recorded is over 10, but that is probably due to lots of mitigating factors, and it's not natural and not good for a lioness to have that many cubs. So 1 to 4 is average. Normally you find in our area most of the litters are 2 or 3. Now, the Styx Pride, I used to see many years ago when I worked in the southern Sabi Sands, and they were much bigger prides. So they've had quite a rough 10 years or so. They've had mange a couple of times. They've lost quite a lot of cubs. There's been lots of male lion takeovers, but the Styx Pride were named after the river Styx from Greek mythology, because they sent so many animals to the ferryman to Hades. So they were very, very successful hunting prides, still are in fact, even though that they're not quite as big as they used to be, only 3 adults. And I think it's 2 or 3 cubs. Vim, did you see the cubs? No, with Jamie. Yeah. No, the new ones.
Oh, no.
Now, consulting detective is wondering how contagious is mange, and will these lions pass it on to their new cubs? Well, mange really only takes bad effect in times of drought. So if it rains, you'll probably find that the mange will clear up and the cubs will normally survive, or they might be killed by a male lion, we never know, but they shouldn't pass on from mange at least. But it doesn't look like these lions are going anywhere anytime soon. There we go. Styx girls curled up in balls. They look like they're relatively well fed, and we're right on the periphery of their territory. Now, the Nkuhumas, as the crow flies, where we were with them last night, was probably no more than 1.5 kilometers from here. Now, of course, the Birmingham boys, they preside over both prides, Styx and the Nkuhumas. Even though the female prides will fight each other for territory, the Styx pride at the moment will generally avoid the Nkuhuma pride. It's 5 adult lionesses versus 3 or 2 in this case, because the other female is staying close to her new little babies. Okay guys, well it is birding big day and these cats are not doing anything, so I think Viam and I are going to continue on our birding adventures. Remember, we're trying to get over 50 species today on camera live, so nice to catch up with the Styx. Hopefully they'll be here later, and I know Byron's off on foot tracking the Nkuhumas. Bye bye girls. Okay, and thankfully they weren't in too thick an area that we weren't able to maneuver with our roof. Oh. Okay, there we go, on the move again. Okay, well, Let's just slowly maneuver here. There we go. That is not what we're looking for. I saw another drongo. Off it goes. No, that's not what we're looking for. Hi, T. T is wondering, is the African hoopoe different from the one that comes to Europe? Indeed it is. The hoopoe you get in Europe is a European hoopoe. They do migrate to Africa, but only to North Africa and as far down as East Africa. I've seen European hoopoes in Kenya, but never this far down. So no, it is different. The African hoopoe is from Tanzania down to southern Africa, whereas the European hoopoe will migrate from Europe to Africa and back, but only going as far as East Africa to the south. Got some lovely calls up ahead. Let's see if we can find what is making those beautiful calls. Oh, don't. Oh, oh, there's Battis. We've got a couple of different things here. You got him, Vim? No, that's the drongos. There's a... Wait. Okay, let me go forward a little bit. Okay, you see on that fallen stuff there, Vim? You're on it. So if you zoom, where are we now? Oh, sorry, a little bit to the right. Oh, quite a long way to the right. Keep coming. Can you hear that call? Keep coming. There we go, in there. Now there's some little birds flitting around there. Where are they gone now? Can you hear that call? I'm just trying to spot it. Oh, while I try to find it, if you come out Vim across the road. Oh, there we go, well done. Look there, what do we got? And it looks like a roller. There we go, lilac-breasted roller. Another one for our list. A lilac-breasted roller. Will today be the first day we find a European roller? Now we can hear that wonderful call. I'm just trying to see, they normally call from prominent spots. Let's just go forward a little bit. Let's see if we get a view from behind. We decided to go quiet, little one. Oh, it's such a beautiful call. We can't find the bird though. Oh dear. Let's keep moving. Coming up. Oh, actually right in front of us there, Vim. Another one for our list. There we go. A chin spot Battis. A little flycatcher. Very pretty little guys. Oh, beautiful little flycatcher. As I said, this weather, although it is quite challenging, the birds are very, very active. Okay, let's have a quick look, if we can have a last look for that very beautiful calling bird. No, alas, and I'm not even sure what it was. I think it could have been one of the flycatchers. But anyway, I have good news. Someone who's going to be keeping nice and warm and dry this morning would like to say hello.
Indeed like to say hello and a very good morning to all of you, and welcome to the 10th segment of this morning's Sunrise Safari. My name is Jamie, and this morning I have Jeandre on camera with me. Jeandre just told me, sorry, I'm distracted now. Jeandre just told me that he thought he heard alarm calls from the Impala and they were running past. I have a suspicion, though, that it's due to their rutting season. So it's because the impala males are all a little bit confused, and they feel as though because the females are pregnant, all the hormones going around, it's go ahead to go and try and mate with them, which of course is not going to happen, and it leaves them with sort of several aggressive tendencies, and they chase each other around, and they chase the females around. That's what I think it was, but I'll keep an eye out, Chandra. Who knows? We could be sitting in the tent, and the wild dogs could come running by. How cool would that be? If it was just one burst of alarm calls. The fact that the Inyala outside our tent are completely relaxed suggests to me that it's just impala doing confusing things. Morning, guys. Hello. Looking a little soggy this morning. Oh, it's a lovely rainy morning, and I, of course, can appreciate it from the warmth and comfort of the tent. You're welcome to come and join us, Inyala, if you want to. I don't think they will, though. They seem to be quite content to wander around in the rain, and, of course, they've got the added benefit of eating away, or eating all the water droplets off the leaves. Right, so I hear you've been having a big birding day with Brent, with a little line interruption in the middle. So I thought, well, since we're in the tent and we have access to all kinds of wonderful things, and if you have just joined us or have just joined the show, the tent is a wonderful way of examining things slightly more closely, having a look at things under the microscope. We will go into the skulls that are behind me. The tent became a little bit morbid at one point. It was sort of skulls and bones scattered everywhere. But I think we've achieved quite a nice balance of different fascinating objects that you find in the bush. Without any further ado, this is where Jerry's role comes in. I thought we'd have a look, at the feathers under the microscope. It would be ideal if I didn't actually knock the feather out initially. There you go. This is the feather probably of a starling. I will have to ask Brent to maybe find you a starling, although I have to tell you it's not going to look as magnificent in this light as this feather is. But just have a look at the fine, fine detail that makes up a feather. All of those little clasps holding each little individual bit. Oh, goodness, coffee shakes. No, I'll just take that away. That's definitely not going to work as an indicator. All of those fine, fine filaments connected together and tying bits of feather together. And those of you who perhaps played with feathers as kids, you probably got into trouble like I did. I remember being told that feathers are very dirty things. Birds carry all sorts of mites and fleas, but nevertheless, it never stopped me. You'll know that if you've tried to pull apart bits of these feathers before, you know how stuck together they are. And it's the extraordinary thing about birds. Obviously they get the split. Oh, hold on. That's what I was trying to show you. There you go. Obviously, when feathers do get damaged, you get splits like that, where the filaments pull apart, and they generally can't be put back together again. It's like a broken zip. The birds can't slide the feathers back again, and as a result, the feather will just shed and they will grow new ones, much like we grow new hairs. And of course, we've got the different styles of feather. This is a much, much longer one than the one we were looking at under the microscope, and slightly weather-beaten. You can see there, something's been nibbling on the ends of it. It's all broken up, soggy, slightly sticky, and this bird potentially met quite an unfortunate end. Or it's just a very old feather, and it just happened to fall off. Now, this is a flight feather. Of course, each and every bird has different types of feathers, just as we've got fingernails versus hair, for example. This is what I wanted to show you. This is a downy feather. Try and keep my hand still. So this obviously will go underneath the primary layers of feathers to help to keep the bird warm. So those bits aren't stuck together at all. They're nice and fluffy and all in all terribly warm and cozy for the bird. I've got my feathers all gathered together, and we're going to try and help out with the big birding day where we can. If we see any nice birds, perhaps if we hear some nice birds, because to be honest, it might be a little bit tricky trying to see them from the tent. But if we hear any nice birds, we're going to try and see if we can add to the list. What I wanted to do, because Brent, of course, was with the sticks, and I wanted to touch this thing. I've been wanting to since I first saw it in here, and I haven't had the opportunity because the last time I was in the tent, Steph was here. Now, this isn't a lion skull. This is a leopard skull, but the design is almost essentially the same as a lion skull. And what I wanted to show you, first of all, this is probably a female leopard to me. Just judging by the size, it's quite a small skull. It fits in my hand quite comfortably. You can tell so much about the way an animal works just by its teeth structure. relatively reduced in sizes. Our animals, our lions and our big cats don't really use their incisors all that often. But then, of course, you've got the weaponry of the canines here. Absolutely massive, slightly blunted at the end, which, of course, is what you will get all of the time. And then, if we shift here, this is where the really interesting stuff happens, because that, of course, is the carnassial shear of the molars. So it acts like scissors. So when we talk about the carnassial shear and the way that they're using them, you've seen the lions when they turn their heads to the side when they're eating their food, and they do this, and they chomp sideways. And that's them using the scissor-like motion of the molars. And our molars are completely different, of course. If you bite down now, you'll feel your molars basically meet the tops of your molars and the top of your bottom molars and the bottom of your top molars. Does that make sense? Meet in the middle, essentially. You might get some overlap, but we don't have an actual scissoring, cutting motion to our jaws. Now, that's the really, really cool thing about these skulls. Whoops. I did a bad thing. Oh no. Sorry, leopard. Here we go. Got it back in. Now, there you go. And a lion's skull is essentially the same, obviously just much, much bigger and much more solid. They are easily, in terms of female leopard versus a female lion is at least 3 times the weight of a female leopard, and her skull is correspondingly bigger. I'm going to be playing with all of these skulls at some point this morning, just because this is the first time I've had a chance to see them, so I'm excited. But I'm sure you're all wondering what Byron has been up to this morning. I think we should head across to him and find out.
So I've been trying to find out or work out where this Nkuhuma pride have gone. I've got tracks of them at Buffelshoek Dam, but it looks like they've moved through a very, very thick area at the moment. The problem is, because of our roofs, we aren't able to now drive off-road as easily as we would without the roof. Herbert has come into the area to give us a hand. We haven't found them yet, but I've got an idea that I think they're in this block potentially. So I'm hoping he does find them. If he does find them, maybe we can work out if we can get in there or not. But I do think they probably have just moved into a thick area. But it is difficult. It's difficult to track. But these tracks that we see, or that I've seen now, seem pretty fresh and seem like from early this morning sometime. So we'll have a look. We'll carry on checking. But unfortunately, when they do move away from the road and through these thick blocks, it becomes very difficult to find them. We'll just have to see what else we can find. But they've moved around a lot. It's very interesting. There are tracks on at least 3 or 4 different roads of lions moving in different areas. So I wonder if perhaps the lionesses weren't trying to hunt last night and caused them to split up and move through different areas. That does happen. And also the males. I mean, the males were with them. The males could have headed off in another direction. So there are tracks all over the show at the moment. But it looks like the last tracks I had looked like the pride. They headed straight towards Buffelshoek Dam, and then they headed in a westerly direction from there, which is basically the opposite direction to where we are driving now. But I'm just doing another loop around, and like I said, Herbert is in that area now, and I've shown him where the tracks are, so he might be able to get off and try walk through there and see if he can find the lions for us. I've seen signs of elephant, broken branches, fresh broken branches. Excuse me a second, Herbert's just trying to get hold of me. Go ahead, Herbert. Okay, copy. I think Herbert's managed to find them. I think he's managed to find them. Let's go have a look quickly. Romy, you wanted to know. Sorry, so there are some impala through there that I wanted to show you, but I think let's go see if we can get those lions quickly. So just where I showed Herbert where the tracks are, maybe he was able to walk in there a little bit further than what I could. Maybe he's found them. Let's have a look. We're not far. We're very, very close. Romy, you wanted wanted to know what would happen if the Styx lions bumped into the Nkuhuma pride. Would there be an altercation? Most definitely. Lions are very territorial, and two different prides in the same area would most definitely result in aggressive behavior and fighting and probably chasing each other out. And I think what would happen in this area, the Nkuhuma pride would most likely chase the Styx pride out of the area and probably attack and fight some of those females. Let's just have a look. Alright, there's Herbert, just where I left him. Let's see, maybe they're not too far. Do you see them through there, Herbie? Okay, I just want to have a look quickly. Hold on, everybody. I wonder if we can maybe try and cross to somebody else, just to so I can try and work out how I'm going to get in here, because it is quite thick. Alright, I think let's quickly head to Brent, get an update from him, and then I'm going to see if I can get this vehicle in through this thick area. And then we'll get you updated.
Oh, okay. I told you we were going to come find the barred owlet, and I've spotted him with my binoculars. I'm just trying to find him with the camera. We can still hear him calling. I'm just figuring this out now. I'm going to try. Oh, I've lost sight of him again. Oh, he's so well camouflaged. Okay. Let's try. I'm going to try. Actually, I think we need to go forward here, Ben. Let's maybe try off the edge. I'm just trying to see that little bump I saw. Okay. Okay. There he is, you got him. A little bit up, a little bit to the right. Down a little bit. There he is, shaking his head. There we go. Oh no, you're terrible. Oh, he's actually in a better place now. It's taken... There we go, look at that wonderful little barred owlet. It's taken us about 10 minutes to find where he was calling. He's calling again. That's definitely one, that counts. We've got him, the barred owlet. Oh, that took a while to find. And I think that's bird number 11 for us so far. Now, Vim has told me what one of his favorite birds is, and that's the Birchall's cuckoo. Now, Vim, I can hear a Birchall's cuckoo calling. Do 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 do. Let's see if we can find it. There we go. So the reason he's calling during the day is because of this overcast weather, and it seems like the rain's lifted a little bit. Vim and I are toying with the idea of taking off our roof just to improve the bird watching. But we'll give it a little bit longer. So that cuckoo sounds like it's calling from in this area here, and we haven't seen one on camera for quite a while. Often referred to, its local nickname is the rain bird. They love to call when it's raining or just before it rains. Do 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 do. Lily B is putting down the gauntlet. Lily would like to see a Verreaux's eagle owl. Well, this is a good place to look for them. They do like to roost in the big jackalberries or African ebonies around the Moati riverbed. Now I'm hoping that VM's favourite bird will show itself, because it is birding big day. You've got something? Oh, little bushbuck. Oh, and it's gone. Not hanging around, that little bushbuck. It's not big bushbuck day. Oh, no, he's gone. Okay, so that cuckoo was calling somewhere from here. They like to call from thickets, although in this wet weather they might be sitting a little bit more prominently than they normally do. Let's see if we can hear him again. What I can do is play you the call. It is such a magnificently beautiful call. Have you got him? Go back. VM spotted him. How far, VM? Now they are skulkers, so they skulk through the undergrowth. They're quite voracious little hunters. And lizards, and you got him. VM's got him. So there we go, VM. Your favourite bird. You wanted a Birchall's cuckoo? Go. Oh, there he's going to jump out into the open. There we go. Tick. Well done, VM. So one of VM's favourite birds has decided to show itself for birding big day. And isn't that lovely when both these birds we've heard calling, the barred owlet and the Birchall's cuckoo, and then we've gone and followed the calls to find them. Wonderful. Lovely, lovely, lovely. We haven't seen one for such a long time. Oh, I can hear one of our more common little critters up ahead, the rattling testicular. One has avoided us already this morning. It flew off before we could get the camera on it. Treat, 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 treat. Oh, VM spotted a hardy-dar. Another one for the list. Now, Virginia is wondering, are there any birds that are less afraid of vehicles? Well, Virginia, I think your Franklin species we seem to get the most close to, and definitely some of the rollers and starlings of quarantine. And we go. Wait, what are we looking for? Hardy-dar. Oh, I'm looking in the wrong area. It is ibis is its proper name. It's called a hardy-dar ibis. And there we go. Tick. There we go. It's gone behind there. Let's keep looking to see if we can find any of these other little birds that are calling up ahead. You can hear that chip, 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 chip of the testicular. Oh, I think he's right at the top of this jackalberry tree, so we're not going to be able to show him, unfortunately. Let's keep moving. I'm sure we'll find one in a more convenient position. There's the hardy-dar, using that wonderful long bill to probe into the sand. Now they'll be looking for worms or other insects. There we go. See how they use that beak to check in to the sand for any hohos. And turtle tracking is wondering, do any of the birds respond to your calls? Indeed they do, quite a few of them do, but generally we try not use the calls too much to call the birds, because if you think about it, a lot of those calls are territorial, so it might make them a little upset. We don't want to do that. I like my birds, happy birds. And oh, is it going to land? Yes. Hold on. Another one for the list, just around the corner. Okay, it's definitely one we haven't put on camera this morning. It landed just beyond this tree coming up on the left. And of course we're also in white-throated robin country around here. It's not the white-throated robin I saw. Oh dear. We'll have one quick look. Alas, whatever, or it was a Jacobin cuckoo, it has made its escape. Now, something that has not escaped the attentions of Herbie and Byron is a big surprise. I wonder what it could be.
Look at this. Persistence pays off, everyone. We found the Nkuhuma Pride. So our tracking was spot on this morning, and also thanks to Herbert, who just came and gave us a hand. It's easier for him to be able to get off the vehicle and move away when he doesn't have to be on camera, so it does help us tremendously for him to be able to walk through a block for a little bit longer than for us to get off and walk away from the vehicle for long periods of time. But from where we had the tracks, they're actually not too far. They've just moved in, but you can see quite a thick area, and I think they were trying to get out of the rain. And there's also a Birmingham male with them. You can see there's a big male. It just looks like the one, though. I don't see another. And I'm not too sure. I've been trying to scan through this area. I can't really get a good count of these lions. It's almost like they're lying in one pile, so it's difficult to see exactly how many cubs and females are here, but I think this is the entire pride. But like I said, it's quite thick and you can see through there. It's not that easy to see and count. I don't want to give you a number and I'm incorrect, so we'll just wait a little while until I can see more of them. But so wonderful to find them. They've moved around quite a bit during the course of the evening. As I said, there were tracks all over the show. And I think because of the rain, that's why they've just moved into the thicker bush. Get out of the rain. Try not to get too cold and wet. But we were spot on this morning when we said, remember I said we heard the lions calling and we thought that they were in this area. So we weren't far off. It's always nice when you make a call like that and you do get it kind of right, even though it did take us a while to find and track them. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. But you just got to keep at it, and eventually the persistence pays off. You know, you've got to have patience in the bush. Things don't just happen like this. You've got to spend time looking for the animals and trying to track them. So I'm so glad we've got to find them. But you can see they're not very active at the moment. They're wet. They're probably a bit cold. I could see one of them just shaking the leg a little bit, trying to get some of the water off of them. But what a wonderful sighting. I'm glad we found them, and their bellies do appear to be quite full. I know they did have a kill yesterday, so they're probably quite happy, and they may even have gone down and drank at Buffelshoek Dam. Like I said, the tracks headed straight down there. I didn't actually go down to the dam to have a look around the water's edge, because the tracks then came back up onto the dam wall and headed across. But I'm sure they would have possibly gone and drank down at the dam, especially after a kill. When they do feed, the lions or predators in general do get quite thirsty, so they will go and look for some water and try and drink. And look at that, just a pile of lions. I'm just going to have a look with my binoculars quickly, everyone, and see if I can try to do a head count. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can only see 4 females at the moment. 4 females, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, I can only see what looks like 4 cubs at the moment. But again, it's difficult. I can't see what's lying on the other side of the lionesses, so it is a bit tricky. But we'll hang around and we'll see if they do move. Maybe we'll be able to get a better count. While I wait here and sit with these lions for a while, let's head back to Jamie in the tent and see what she's got.
I have got a wonderful view. What a special way to start off one's morning than sitting in, as James describes it, the best office in the world, watching a herd of Inyala feeding right outside our window. I don't think there's many offices in the world that gets to... Oh, there's the bushbuck. They just walk right past in front of the Inyala. Hi. Oh, they're my favorite. Let me duck out of your way. Let me duck out of Gendre's way. Oh, hello, little one. They were here, they were in my Inga's garden this morning, the little female and her baby. We get to know them, or the bushbuck of this area, because there are not that many of them around us. So we get to know them quite well. And I know each and every individual. And bushbuck, I think, are my favorite of the antelope that hang around the camps. Hello, pretty girl. Look at your spots. Such a fluffy creature. All puffed up because it's cold and rainy. That tail. That tail is amazing. Oh, what a wonderful way to spend a day. Inyala outside, lions on the screen with Byron, and of course Brent and his birding goals. Now, Byron mentioned that patience is a virtue when you live in the bush, and exactly the same thing goes for birding. Now, we've had some really interesting, quite fascinating examples of bird behavior. I'd like to show you a clip of one such example. Have a look at this.
Oh, wow. I've never seen this before. Like I said, this looks very much like a breeding display. Perhaps he was waiting for you. I've accepted you. Make your next move. You see that? How horrible is that? You don't peck your future wife on the head. That is not very nice. And I've heard that there's a technique that men like to use in courtship is to not pay your female companion too much attention. Oh, look at this. There we go. They're going to mate. Oh, my goodness. Isn't this exciting? That was very... Here we go. He's not interested at all now. Oh, bop on the head. Pecking again. It's very much like how the lions are mating. Hey, Kirsty, you're kind of right there. Look at that. Very aggressive. My goodness. Oh, and now he chased her off. Completely bizarre.
Sorry, I had to have a really good chuckle at that. I have never ever seen crested francolins mating before, and well done to Taylor for managing not to burst out laughing during that sighting, because I thought, watching it now in mute, I find it absolutely hilarious. Him pecking her head. And it just goes to show, I mean, it's not just the big cats that sometimes have quite interesting and intricate mating rituals. Now, that's an unusual sighting to see. And of course, all of our birds have been, let's put it this way, they've been very busy over the last few weeks, and as a result, we found all kinds of really lovely nest sites. I found a magpie shrike yesterday. Rebecca didn't want it because I think Brent had lions on screen, but I did find a magpie shrike nest yesterday. We've seen roller nests, we've seen, what are those things called? Hornbill nests. We've seen barbet nests. We found all kinds of exciting things out here in the bush. And speaking of exciting things, I wonder what else Brent has found for you in the Mulwati drainage.
There we go, another one, and as Jamie was saying, she's found a hornbill nest. We found a hornbill, the red-billed hornbill. We get 3 species commonly: the red-billed, yellow-billed, and African grey. Occasionally we might get trumpeter and crowned passing through, and of course the biggest hornbill of them all, the ground hornbill. We haven't heard them calling this morning. Now we're going to keep going. I'm going actually back. I was down in the Mulwati, but there's a whole lovely little grove of trees up above the Mulwati, and there's a lot of birds calling in there. So we're going to see if we can find them. I have heard one of the birds that I'm very excited to show you, which is a male paradise flycatcher in full breeding plumage, which is quite a sight to behold. It is a long tail. Okay, let's have a look. There's also sounds like orange-breasted bushshrike here, and brown-hooded kingfisher, all in this lovely little riverine thicket here. Now, if we don't get any luck here, we're going to continue along towards Twin Dams. Opposite direction, up Twin Dams towards Spaghetti Junction. And I've got a birding hotspot I'm hoping is going to be firing on all cylinders. So at the moment we're trying for the more difficult species, the skulking species that are around the riverbeds, and we are going to move up into the crests, into the Terminalia and Combretum woodland, and there we're going to go try find things like southern black tits and wood hoopoes. Now sometimes they might be in both, you never know. Oh, it looks like that kingfisher has vacated where I heard him calling from. On the edge of that there, I think it looked like European bee-eater landing. Indeed, there we go, another one. European bee-eaters. Now that's a bird I've seen both in Europe and in Africa. Denise had wondered if we had seen any bee-eaters. Well, there we go. So far only the European, no carmines just yet. Oh, what's that sitting up there? Oh, an African green pigeon. Well done, VM. Keeping us ticking on nicely there. And we heard them calling earlier. To me, they sound like a 1960s or 70s Bond villain computer. And we'll play it for you, the African green pigeon. There we go. Let's put his song on for us. You can just imagine some Bond villain in a hidden laboratory under a lake or under a volcano with this massive big lot of shining dials and bobs and lights and evil henchmen plugging away at all the buttons, and that sound coming out as a printout of the end of the world is nigh is coming through. Now that's why I do love the calls of the African green pigeon. They really do remind me of good old Bond movies, Sean Connery and Roger Moore. James says he really wants to see a crested barbet today. They already look bedraggled, and imagine what they look like after rain. Well, hopefully the crested barbets will be out and about. Maybe we can get both barbet species today. The crested. Okay, there we go. The brown-hooded kingfisher coming up on the left. We land. There we go. Oh, you dastardly bird. Okay, he's landed again. There's a dead branch going off to the right. It's going to come through on your left shortly. There we go. Oh, sorry, Vim, I forgot about the roof. But there we go. Oh, it flew. It counts. It counts. It was a kingfisher. It was brown-hooded. It counts. Sorry about that, Vim. It counts. It is birding big day after all. Okay. Now we need to add kingfisher to the list. Another one, our second kingfisher species of the morning. Hopefully we can add two more in the pygmy and the grey-hooded. Wait. What was it? Brown-hooded. There we go. And the striped, in fact. Save. Now, this roof does make certain birding a little bit challenging, especially if they're high. Oh no, we're not going to get those. Ah, PK, thinking like I am. So there was a pygmy kingfisher nest at the hyena den off Gallagher shortcut, and we are going to make our way past there at some point today to see if we have any luck there. It's another fork-tailed drongo. So now we're on what we'd call sort of a transfer zone. On our left we've got Terminalia woodland mixed with what was that? Oh, something's upset. Mixed with Combretum woodland, and on the right we've got Warries and big knob thorns. And where's that noise coming from? It's not the noise I heard, but there's a very bedraggled go-away bird, one for the list. Another one of Viem's favourite birds. Wiem seems, apart from the Birchall's Kukul, all Viem's favourite birds seem to be the nauseous birds. What were they? There were go-away birds, babblers. Babblers are cool, yeah. Babblers. What were your So we've got two of Viem's favourite birds so far. I can hear that testiculate that's been eluding us. Okay, go away bird, tick. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, can you get that little one? Is it too high? It's too high. Oh, he's flown anyway. Let's see where he goes. He's going to come this side. Oh, he's going to land in the Terminalia. Now, and how's that for me talking about being on the edge of two birding zones? And I said we're going to go look for some of the other birds. Okay, there you see him hopping below. There he is. Oh, where's he gone? Well, there's a a greater blue-eared starling, but where's the other bird that's in that tree? There he is on the far left, and a southern black tit. Now that's one of the ones that. There we go. Oh no, it's not. It's a starling. Where's the southern black tit? I can hear him. He's in there somewhere. So there's two greater blue-eared starlings, and there's a very noisy southern black tit. But where is he? There he is. Okay, zoom him. No, that's not him. That was a leaf. Okay, wait. Let me just look. Psst, 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 psst. Psh, 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 psh. Well, we've got the starling. Mustn't forget to add the greater blue-eared starling while we try and spot the. You got him. We can hear him. There he is. Well done, Wiem, the southern black tit. Now, they are one of the birds that we're looking for around the Terminalia and oh, I lost my mind there for a second. The Terminalia and Combretum woodland. But there we go. Well done, Wiem. Now, they are great feeders on insects and spiders and all sorts of things like that. Tit. There we go. No, and we want T for tit. There we go. Southern black tit. Ooh, I'm too nervous to see how many we are on. Judy would like to know what is the chance of finding Gracie's cinnamon bun birds. I've only seen one so far this wet season, but I will definitely be keeping my eye out. We've got a better chance of finding the golden-breasted bunting, which is obviously the cinnamon-breasted bunting's cousin. Oh, there were some birds calling now. So now we're in a really good zone. We've got your Combretum and Terminalia birds on this side, and you've got your riverine birds on this side. So hopefully we're going to get a nice transference of different species. There we go. We've got some calls coming up on the right here. Isn't this fun? I do love birding. I've been trying to think, because Viem's been telling us what his favourite birds are. What have you got, Wiem? It's the Cape Turtle Doves again. So I've been racking my brain to try and figure out what's one of my favourite birds in this area. I think it has to be an emerald spotted wood dove is one of my favourites. I love their call. Hopefully we will see one today. Ooh, bushrat calling. Let's have a look here. So now we've got almost 3 different birding zones. We've got our Combretum woodland and Terminalia woodland. We've got some open floodplain grasslands here, as well as the edge of the riverine. So who knows what we might find here. I can hear something we can definitely find. Let's just speed up to get there. Just wanted to check the short grasses quickly. Okay, Vim, we can hear it. There, okay, we're nearly there. Sounds like we got a bit of a party going on here. Okay, let's start with the one that's the most obvious on the right on top of that Ziziphus. Ooh, interesting. There we go. And this is the one who's been avoiding us, the rattling cisticola, or cisticula. Now the other bird's gone quiet. Let's just give it a second. It seems like the other birds have moved off. So while I tick the cisticola off our list, the rattling one, of course, singing, red-faced, lazy, croaking, wailing, grey-backed. No, we're looking for the rattling. There it is, rattling, tick. We're going to go in search of more birds. I don't know what we are, and I'm too nervous to look because I feel like after a slow start we're building some decent momentum. So I'm going to start heading towards some of my favourite birding spots on Djuma. While we do that, let's see what the Nkuhumas are up to.
So the Nkuhumas aren't up too much, actually. They're still lying down and resting, and I think it's got something to do with the weather. They're wet. It's a bit cold at the moment because of the rain. So they literally have not moved. Fast asleep and resting. And again, I think because of they're moving around a lot during the course of the evening, and in the rain, they probably decided it's time to rest now. Still very happy that we found them, and I wonder what happened to the other male and the female, because I do think, again, as I was saying, it's difficult to see, but I think there are only 4 females here at the moment, the 4 adult females and the 1 male. So I wonder if the other male and one of the females have headed off. Perhaps he was trying to mate with her, who knows, I'm not too sure. I know yesterday when Brent was there, the one male was trying to keep the one female away from the pride a little bit, and he was kind of ushering her away. So it could possibly be the reason why they're not around here. Philip, now you've asked an interesting question. Now, you want to know how common is it for a big dominant male to be the alpha male or dominant male over a number of lion prides? So, Philip, what happens is usually the case is if there's a single male, he will stay within one pride and he will just be dominant over that pride. That's usually what happens. In this area, in this part of Kruger that we are in, and most parts around Kruger, we seem to be seeing coalitions of males. So a number of males staying together. So brothers, most likely brothers, born into the same pride, that then grow up together and they stay together. Those males, because they are a coalition, and at the moment, the Birmingham males, for example, they're 4 brothers. Sorry, I just heard something. I can't see anything, but I heard something breathing fairly heavily through the bushes there. So as I was saying, with the 4 brothers, the 4 coalition members, what happens then is they will patrol a very, very large territory. And within that territory, there will be a number of prides, different prides. those males are then able to mate with the females from the different prides. And it's usually only the case when it's a coalition, because they don't stick to one pride. They move around, patrol larger territories in different areas. They'll split up and mate with the females from different prides. So that's usually what happens. So I hope that makes sense, Philip. It's only if there's a coalition that they'll move around and mate with different females from different prides. And if it's a single male, he'll most likely stay within one pride. Alright, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to move out of this area now and leave these lions. They're resting. We can possibly try follow up later today again at some point, but I'm glad we found them. At least we know where they are. So I think we're going to try and get out of here, and while I do that, let's head back to Brent, who's doing very well with his bird list.
Now, oh, come on, jump up again, out into the open there. Coming up. Look, there we go, brown crown chagra is going to pop out into the open. Come on. It's using the leaves to bath. There we go, a brown crowned chagra. Look at him bathing in the leaves, getting all the moisture off there. Isn't that incredible? A little bit to the left. There he is. Oh, and off he goes. Brown crown chagra. That's a nice one for the list. And we've got another one that's calling right next to us. Let me just move forward a little bit. And it's one of our migrants that's arrived recently. Where's he gone now? I can hear him. Chuk chuk. Don't tell me he's gone high. Don't go high. Stay low. You got him, Vim? Where's he gone? Let me just go back a little bit, see if we can. Where's he gone? No, redback shrike. Come back, redback shrike. Oh no, well, wait, let's just listen for half a second, see if he calls. No, it sounds like he's moved on a bit. Okay, well, we'll keep looking for another redback shrike, and let's go see what Jamie's up to in the tent.
All in all, it has been a fantastic birding morning for Brent. And as Jean-Andre pointed out to me very nicely after we went off air, we actually can't show you the sounds of the birds because we don't have the microphone set up. So I said that we'd try and help with the sounds of the different birds. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen this morning. But the prevailing sound that is coming through is the woodland kingfisher that is calling constantly now. I always think of the woodland kingfisher when they come back, when they migrate back to South Africa. I kind of think of them as, you know, that person at a party that just speaks very loudly, kind of speaks over everybody else. So the other birds are talking, but all the while the sort of the conversation of the morning is dominated by chick chirr, chick chirr. I don't know if there's so many of them or if they're just particularly loud. And they do seem to dominate the sounds of summer. It's particularly prevalent, and of course it's a sound, therefore, that we always associate with the return of summer. Speaking of the return of the woodland kingfisher, we have a clip prepared of the very first sighting of the woodland kingfisher. Let's have a look.
Oh yes, here it is. Eggsy, are you ready? Are you ready, Eggsy? Now, where did it go? Don't fly again. Oh, there you go, boom, there it is. Woodlands kingfisher. There we go. Definitely worth taking a few seconds on our way to the lines to have a look at the exquisite woodlands kingfisher. Now, I'm hoping he jumps out into the light so you can see that electric blue color that is on him.
You can see the sheer excitement that we get whenever we see the first or second woodlands kingfisher. Jean-Andre is adamant. He is not impressed. He does not think that that was the first sighting of the woodland kingfisher. It was, however, Brent's first sighting of the woodland kingfisher. So let's perhaps phrase it as that. Many of you are a little bit confused because we're naughty. We fall into shortcuts and we fall into bad habits, and we end up saying things like the woodlands kingfisher. It's not the woodlands kingfisher. Its official name is, in fact, the woodland kingfisher. And I had to double check myself because that is such a habit that we all fall into as guides that I actually wasn't 100% sure about that. Now, the name woodland kingfisher is, of course, relatively self-explanatory. It likes woodlands, likes to sit on trees. It's not actually a fisher bird. What? It's not actually a bird that catches fish, catches insects, and in fact most of our kingfishers are. But here's the fun thing about the different names of different birds, and of course I bought Brent that bird book on the different Latin names of the various birds. It doesn't have much in the way of South African names though. However, I did go and have a little bit of a research a couple of days ago into the meaning of the name, the Latin name behind the woodlands kingfisher, which is of course Helicon senegalensis. Now, Helicon or Helison, depending on how you pronounce it, here's the fun story behind that. It harks back to a Greek mythological bird. Now, I can't remember the exact names of the story, and my Greek pronunciation is a little rusty. It's been a while since I've had to say Greek names, and perhaps this is one of the first times I've ever had to say Greek names. But according to Greek mythology, there was a lovely, beautiful woman, and she was married to someone, and her husband died at sea, and in her grief, she tried to drown herself, but the gods turned her into a bird, and she was swept in the winds of the sea to rejoin her husband. And that became the bird, the mythical bird, the Helicon. And that's been given over to the Latin name of many of the sort of the greater group of the blue kingfishers. Senegalensis is relatively self-explanatory. But there's a couple of different interesting naming things. You saw the Burchell's cuckoo with Brent. There's also a Burchell's starling. There's also a Burchell's zebra. It's now called a plain zebra, and the Burchell's is considered to be a subspecies of the plain zebra. But that would sort of lead one to imagine that perhaps there was a man called Burchell striding around Africa going, and that one's mine, and that one's mine, and you can name that one after me as well. I'd like to tell you a little bit about William John Burchell. That is where most of the Burchell names come from, Burchell sandgrouse. And it's not actually that William John Burchell in the early 1800s went wandering around naming things after him. It's obviously because he contributed a great deal to the biology in the area, or biological understanding of the area. So especially things like plants. He was a serious botanist. He brought a lot of specimens back to England. I think he was based in Oxford, if I'm not mistaken. So William John Burchell, his very first trip to South Africa, just a funny little personal story about poor William John Butler. His first trip to South Africa was in the early 1800s, and apparently, very sadly, his wife-to-be made off with the captain of the ship instead, and they dropped William John Butler off in Cape Town, and off they sailed together, presumably into the sunset, happily ever after, leaving poor William John Butler to name zebras and birds after himself. Poor man. And there you go, some interesting little snippets of information about the various birds. And speaking, of course, of birds, I'm sure Brent is having an absolute ball this morning. Let's go see what else he can find for you.
There we go. We've got a full house of chagras. This is the black-crowned chagra. We've seen the brown-crowned. Now he's calling. Listen to that. One of the most beautiful calls in the African bush. Come on, jump into a slightly better view. There we go. The black-crowned chagra. Come on. So they're part of the shrike family. And we only get two types of chagras here, and we've seen them both in the matter of 100 meters. Also, fluffing out, trying to get all the wet out of the wings. That's just such a stunning call. There we go. Mine's not nearly as good, of course. Okay, well, it doesn't look like he's going to pop down. He's sitting up there, drying himself, calling away. Oh, I haven't looked at how many we've got on our list yet, but it's getting good. It's after that slow start. Oh, what have we got there, Vim? Please be a yellow-billed hornbill. We've got the red-billed. Well, apparently a lot of you are enjoying the birding as much as I am. Oh, there's a flying yellow-billed hornbill. Well done, Vim. There we go. Off he goes. One of our more common species, but definitely another one to add to the list. Let's keep looking around. And there you go. Mustn't forget, on the list, hornbill H. There we go. Hornbill, yellow-billed, dick, yay! And we're just going to keep moving slowly along here. Now, as we move away from the Moati River, we're going to start hoping for a few more different species. I'm really hoping we get the first European golden oriole of the year. I've seen a couple flash past, but we haven't managed to get them on camera. Of course, black-headed oriole as well. And what else? Red-headed weaver, apalises, Brew shrike, puffback shrike. There's so many more birds still to look for. Now, we're about to come out below Inga's house onto the open areas that lead up towards the Djuma Dam Cam, and we're looking there. We might get some Birchall starling, definitely going to get some buffalo weavers, and hopefully if there's any antelope around, we might get some oxpeckers on them. Marco is saying he's missing 2 starling species on his list, the black-breasted and the red-winged. Are they common here? Marco, we get neither of those here, unfortunately. Red-wings are generally around rocky outcrops, and the black-bellied occurs further to the north of us. So, unfortunately, those are not ones to keep on your Djuma list. Okay, here we go. We're heading out to the open. Maybe we might get an Natal Franklin as well. And another 2 species we're going to look for as we move away from the Moati River in the Franklin front is, of course, the Koki and the Shelleys. And around one of my favorite birding hotspots is one of the only places I see Swanson's spurfowl here as well. So we're slowly moving through, checking very carefully, and I'm glad everyone's enjoying the birding as much as I am. It is definitely one of my favorite pastimes and something I do quite a lot of when I'm not here. Hello, Soraya. Soraya is wondering, are hummingbirds indigenous to Africa, and is there any chance of seeing them on Djuma? Soraya, they are not. They're indigenous to the Americas. Our equivalent would be sunbirds, and I have been looking out for sunbirds. It's not the best day for sunbirds. They prefer a little bit better weather, but you never know. We might find one. Now, here we go. And I thought I heard the squawk of a Natal Franklin somewhere in here. Where are all the buffalo weavers and starlings this morning? Just naughty, don't they know it's birding big day? Well, let's go check around the Djuma Dam Cam. And we know the buffalo weavers are nesting there, and also it gives us a chance to look down, see if there's any lapwings, blacksmith lapwings, or other aquatic birds around the edge of the waterhole. I can hear a Birchall starling. Squawkity squawk, squawk, squawk. There it is, squawking away at us. You got him, Vim? On the middle knobthorn. There we go, the biggest of our starling species, the Birchall starling. Just listening carefully to see what else we might hear, to give us a hint on where we should go next. Birchall starling, yay, add it to the list. Okay, I'm quite sure we're hopefully going to get 1 or 2 more species as we approach up here. Now, where are all the buffalo weavers? They are normally en masse in this area. Let's just have a quick look down towards the... Oh, I think I see a water bird. Right. Oh, don't fly. Okay, we'll find him again. Oh, there's another one there. Ooh. Ooh. I don't think we've seen this one yet this year. Now, let's have a careful look. Now, these guys can be quite tricky. Now, what we're looking at there specifically is it looks... like the bill is slightly upturned. And now, let me just quickly get to the right neck of the woods. I think I know what it is. I'm very excited if it is. Now, of course, I'm a little bit rusty with my water birds. I haven't seen them in so long, and I'm very excited to confirm it is exactly what I thought it is. And this is the first one of the season. It is a common green shank with an itchy ear. Now that's the call, and that is another tick for us today. Common green shank. That is a really good one. That is the first one of the year so far. Yay! Now, I also saw what looked to be a wood or common, or probably a wood sandpiper. And I have a look now. And he was near the hippopotamus. Let's go a bit wider. We don't want him to fly off at a rate of knots. They're very fast flyers. You got him through the gap there. Okay, now it is indeed a wood sandpiper, and I can tell that from its, when he pops his head up. And so the two you can get, actually I'm not sure, wait, now that yes it is. So he's got a far more prominent sort of eye stripe, and he's got those dull yellow legs that gives them away. The other one you can get confused with is a green sandpiper, but that is a wood sandpiper. We have seen a couple of them already this year, but great as always to get them here again. And there we go, add on wood sandpiper, looking for little invertebrates. Aha! Now this is going to be a challenge for him. We're going to try get the buffalo weaver. Can you show me how far you can go? So I know, oh dear, that's not good, is it, Vim? I can hear the buffalo weaver. We just can't see the buffalo weaver because it's above the roof. I'm just hoping there was going to be one on the ground somewhere. Okay, we're going to have to move on. I don't think we're going to be able to get. Okay, now let's just turn around quickly. Maybe we get a different angle from here. Now James is saying, why are trumpeter hornbills so rarely seen in this area? Are they outcompeted by the other hornbill species? Not at all, James. They prefer different habitat. So trumpeters are far more on top of the second dead knob from there. I just want to see what it is there, Vim. I think it could left. That one. I think it is. Oh, sorry, our camera is freaking out, VM says, but it's now not freaking. Oh, what is that? Oh, virtual starling, just he looked a little bit funny. So, not what we... No, virtual starling, we'll keep going. So, James, they prefer big riverine areas with lots of fruiting trees. So when we do get trumpeter hornbills here, it's generally because the jackalberries are in fruit. We don't have a lot of fig trees here, which is another one of their favorite foods. So that's the main reason why we don't get lots of them here. It's just not ideal habitat for them. Further south from here, there's a lot of them along the Sand River, and crowned hornbills as well. They generally, we find them passing through in these areas. Okay, now we're going to have one quick look up here. I'm surprised I haven't seen the Natal Franklin out digging around on the soft ground this morning. But we're going to head towards quarantine. Maybe we can find some buffalo weavers on the ground while we do that. It seems like Byron has decided to join us in Birding Big Day.
To join, it manages to fly off just before you can link to us. Hang on. Oh, what are those? Just give me a second. Let me just have a look. Yeah, what are those? The light is a bit bad. The top of that tree, now this cover's in the way too. What is that? Let me try reverse quickly, everyone. Can't see, my eyes are so bad. We did have the Cape Turtle Dove framed up. Unfortunately, it flew off. We've had we had the Aramark Babblers. We had a African cuckoo, but I suppose it doesn't count unless we show it to you on camera. Oh, now that little bird that I saw has flown off just when I got a better angle. I think we're going to get some interesting birds around this area, so let's have a look, see what we can find. What have we got up there? It's a starling, but hang on, I don't think you've got this one. I think Brent saw Birchall starling. This is a different one. The top of the tree just off to our right. And there it flies, obviously. There's one on the ground over here, just in front of us. There we go. That's a Cape Glossy starling. A Cape Glossy starling. And there comes the other one that I saw. It's just gone and sat up in the tree above it, just behind. It's also flying down. So Cape Glossy starling. So I don't think you got that one yet. So here we go. That's nice. And there is another starling that we might get, or another 2 starlings we might get. Or even 3, now that I'm thinking about it. So another one would be the greater blue-eared starling. We do get in this area. It looks quite similar to this Cape Glossy starling, but the calls are different. And then the other ones would be the violet-backed starling, or the plum, used to be known as plum-coloured starling, violet-backed starling. We have seen them around. They are here. And then perhaps even wattled starlings. There have been a few wattled starlings around. So those are 3 other starling species we could potentially get around here. So let's see. I'm not far from Sydney's Dam, so I'd like to just go and have a look there and just scan and see if we can't get any interesting water birds.
Okay, we are heading towards one of my favorite birding areas. Hopefully we're going to get some of our mixed woodland species. So what we call this woodland that we're moving into at the moment is broadleafed woodland. We should get things like magpie shrikes and hopefully a European roller, first one of the year, the orioles, black-headed, and European golden. So we're heading up Vertella Access now and keeping our eyes peeled. Maybe a crested barbet. Now we're listening carefully, because quite often to find the best bird parties. Now a bird party is a group of birds that travel together but are feeding on different things. So by traveling in a group, the more eyes to see potential predators, but they're not competing for food resource. So quite interesting when you find those nice big bird parties. I can hear a European golden oriole, but it's far away. Sometimes they sit high in the trees, so that's why I was just having a quick look. A liquid chortle, not quite as liquidly and chortly as the black-headed oriole. Another one that migrates from the south of France, Spain, Portugal, to spend its summers here when it starts getting chilly. When the Mistral starts coming across the Pyrenees, it's time for the birds who like the warm weather to get out. There we go, black-headed oriole calling as well, but again quite far away from the road. Okay. We are missing lots of short grass species today. And maybe Impala Plains is where they're all hanging, or on Sandy Patch. Okay, we're going to keep going. And I'm still heading to my favorite hot spot for the broad-leafed woodland bird species while we do that. Let's see, Byron has back with some birds.
So we've got two species in this frame over here. We've got the red-billed buffalo weavers in all those nests on the left-hand side of the screen. You can see them flying in and out. A lot of red-billed buffalo weavers. And then the right-hand side of the screen on the dam wall is the blacksmith lapwing. Not sure if you've got any of those two species yet. I'm trying to catch up with the list and just find out exactly what we've got or not. I think I've got an idea. So those are two really nice species. And there's not too much else around the waterhole at the moment, but at least we've got those two, and those red-billed buffalo weavers build those incredibly large nests. They are community nesting birds, so we'll get a number of pairs and quite a few numbers of those birds all nesting within those nests. And they'll use them all year round and constantly just add on to building the nest. Very interesting little birds. All right, I think we're going to continue our bird search. Let's head to Jamie in the tent and see what she is up to.
We are having so much fun with them this morning, and of course they come in all different shapes and sizes, and as a result, of course, their eggs come in all different shapes and sizes. Now, it's exceptionally appropriate that Byron was just sitting with a nest of buffalo weavers. You saw how messy those nests are. Now, there's a very sort of intricate design to them in the way that they're planned out, but sometimes, especially with so many things happening around the nest, or just natural biology, sometimes things don't always work out. And as a result, we actually have a buffalo weaver's egg to show you. So that is what a intact buffalo weaver's egg looks like. A bluish tinge with all kinds of speckled dots on it and a little bit of bird excrement just to add to the whole image. So unfortunately, this egg didn't make it. We don't know exactly what happened. It's not still alive. It was pushed out of the nest. Somehow managed to survive the fall. And you've seen how high buffalo weavers nest. Their nests are incredibly, incredibly high. So it's very impressive that it did actually, and that's of course one of the secrets to the shape of the egg. That's why they are slightly conical. It helps, it's actually one of the stronger ways in geometry, one of the stronger shapes. Just that little bit stronger than a roundish egg. You can actually almost see through it. There's nothing in there. It did not survive. It might not even have been a successful egg. But the fascinating thing about birds' eggs is, of course, the variety of shapes and colors that they are found in. Now, let's have a look quickly, before we go into a discussion on that, let's have a look quickly at the second egg, which is broken. But I've popped it under the microscope so that you can have a look. There you go. Let's have a look at the incredibly intricate nature of the patterns in that shell. A bird's body made that. Isn't that phenomenal? And of course, birds' eggs come in reds and purples and blues and greens. I mean, they come in as many colors as to be worthy of an Andrew Lloyd Webber song to describe the different varieties of colors that you get. And first of all, it's incredible the way that the birds change the color or shape the color of the eggs in each individual species. It's interesting that a buffalo weaver has taken such a speckled approach because, of course, a lot of the time the birds that lay their eggs in a nest will have relatively plain colored eggs, whereas the birds like korhans, for example, or the franklins that Brent was searching for earlier, they will go for a really mottled approach because, and the lapwing actually, the lapwing that Byron had on the dam wall, they lay incredibly camouflaged eggs. And it's a way of hiding them because they nest out in the open just on the ground. I still don't fully understand the nesting strategy of lapwings because yes, they're very camouflaged, but the risk that they run in terms of a herd of elephants or a herd of buffalo just walking through and squashing them is quite phenomenal. And lapwings might be very protective birds, but there's nothing they can do against an elephant or a herd of buffalo, and yet the species has evolved to nest right out in the open. The blacksmith lapwings even worse because they nest very close to water, which seems like an even sillier approach, doesn't it? Because you just, all of that foot traffic going up and down from a water hole for the animals to go and drink. But their eggs are perfectly camouflaged. Now, here's where another amazing thing happens. Not only are birds capable of laying these incredibly intricately patterned eggs, but there are species of birds, particularly I'm thinking of the Deirdre's cuckoo, and I don't think Brent or Byron have managed to get that on their list today. I've heard them around, that sort of sound that they make. Now, Deirdre's cuckoo has been recorded, not the same cuckoo, but Deirdre's cuckoos as a species have been recorded imitating 21 different species of eggs. That's crazy. That is a fact that still absolutely boggles my mind. The fact that a bird in different areas it can go and lay, because of course cuckoos are brood parasites, in other words they lay their eggs, dump their eggs with another bird, and off they go. And that is just the way that they do things. And the fact that they can actually imitate different species of birds' eggs, I would love for somebody to try, and I'm sure people have explained the biology to it. I haven't read up on the biology to it, but I would love to try and find out exactly how it is they do that. Evolution is an amazing thing. And then all kinds of wars happen in terms of the cuckoos and the birds trying to stop them from laying their eggs in their nests. They really don't appreciate it. It becomes almost an arms battle. So the cuckoos will evolve to imitate eggs. The birds will evolve, the birds that are host to those eggs will evolve to mob them. Or, in the case of the drongo, for example, evolve to imitate them. So, and scrub robins as well, especially. So there you go. Oh, I have got such exciting news for you. There is an animal you're dying to see. Go and have a look with Brent.
There we go. I can't believe it. I'm not sure. Is that a hyena, Vim? I don't know. I haven't seen one in so long. It's a spotted wolf. It's a spotted wolf bird hyena. There we go. We were sitting here watching some birds, and suddenly Howard arrived, looking very fat and happy. But before we continue with the hyena, quickly Vim, for the bird list, and for Shirley, there's a giraffe with a red-billed oxpecker on its neck. There we go, combing through. We'll come back. Let's stick with the hyena, but we can tick the red-billed oxpecker. Where's Howard gone? Behind us. Oh dear, we need to turn around. Now, of course, that particular hyena's name's not Howard. No, don't go away, hyena. But all hyenas, in my book, are called Howard, after a cardboard cutout of a hyena that we made while filming a documentary. Its name was Howard. Since then, all hyenas have been known as Howard. Oh no, it's running away. There we go. That's the first spotted hyena I've seen in yonks. It might be worth hoping and checking the den sites later. There are some den sites in this area. Wait. Do you hear that, Vim? Okay, I think there's a leopard there as well. There's some impala alarming, so while we rush towards that area, let's go across to Byron, who's got some more birds.
Alright, now there's some arrow mark babblers around here that I'm trying to show you. There's an interesting bird calling here, and I don't know that call actually, but I can't see the bird. See if these arrow mark babblers are still sitting around. First, they are straight through there. You can still just see them. They're fluttering about. Every now and then they'll jump through the trees. Let's have a look around there. There's one straight ahead. There we go. Arrow mark babbler. Hiding, but we can see him. Okay, now I need to try and find out. Okay, let's leave that. I'm just going to change my position a little bit. See what this strange call is. I don't know it. Hear the arrow mark babblers. Trying to scan this tree very, very carefully. I don't know what that sound is. Now, I did see a southern white-crowned shrike fly into that tree. Now, I wonder if it's not that making that sound. Let's quickly have a look. Can you hear that sound? I'm sure you might be able to hear it. Let's see if it is the white-crowned shrike. I'm just going to play the call and... No, I know that call. It's definitely not that, unless that's going to... Oh my word, I'm stumped, everyone. I have no idea what's calling. But the problem is I can't see it. And now I'm so curious. I need to try and find this. Such a strange sound. Yeah. I mean, it's a huge tree, and it's difficult to work out exactly where that call is coming from. You can't see anything, eh, Gert?
No, I think they're in the bottom, yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, they might be in the thicket. Let's quickly head to Brent, who's got a new bird.
Oh no, it's flying, it's flying. We've never had that bird on camera before. Where's it going? Where did it go? Land. He's going to land. He's not going to land. He's landed. It's a Sterling's barred wren warbler. We hear them calling all the time. I can still see him flying. Oh dear. And we've got to the impala. It looks like these impala might have had a false alarm. They're very, very relaxed. Now I'm just going to stop to see if we can hear the bird calling again. But that's a first. A Sterling's barred wren warbler. Oh, there he goes. Oh, darn it. I don't know. Does that count? I don't know. What do you think, Vim?
We did see him.
We did see him. Sitting and then flying off. I think it counts. It counts. There we go. Final Control says it counts. Now, that is a first. We've never got one on camera before. There we go. Wren warbler. I'll show you a picture of him. He wasn't quite looking this pretty because he was quite damp this morning. But there we go. The Sterling's barred wren warbler. We hear them calling often. Oh. There's his call. Beautiful little bird. And tick. Okay, let's keep going. Now these impala look like they... Oh, wait, before we move on. Okay. I'm trying to figure out... I'm trying to move this pole out of the way there for you, VM. Where are they gone now? A little bit further. They've flown off. There was some flycatchers there. Anna Marie's wondering, where have all the raptors gone? Well, Anna Marie, a lot of the raptors, unless there's a lot of termites around, are not very happy in this weather. There are no big thermals for them to ride, so they can't fly high. So they're generally sitting wet and cuddled up somewhere. Okay, sorry, Rexon's just calling me. Standing by, Rex. Now, I think those impala alarm calls might have been in Buffelshoek. Rex, I'm on Aubrey's Road. There was impala alarming, but it sounds like they were north of the boundary around the Buffelshoek sign. Okay, so we are still going to have enough time to make it to my birding hotspot, which I'm hoping is hotting up as this morning continues. We're doing so well, I don't want to look till we get closer to the end of drive to see how many we've got. Now, quite an interesting question from Jay. Do we have any flamingos in Kruger? Jay, indeed, we do, very occasionally, and at this time of the year. I've even seen a flamingo in the Sabi Sands, but that is a lost flamingo. They don't normally come here, but in certain of the big pans, especially in Kruger and along up near the Limpopo River, the flamingo, you do get flamingos. So you never know, maybe this year is the year when another random flamingo arrives at Buffelshoek Waterhole. Okay, so this is the area where there's impala alarm calling. They weren't alarm calling too seriously, but you never know, it's always worth a check, and I had planned to come through here birding anyhow. So we're going to keep birding while we move through here. I can see the impala, they're all looking relaxed, so maybe they had a false alarm. Now, okay. Oh, well done, Michael. The Sterling's Barred Wren Warbler, number 100 on Michael's bird list. Excellently done, Michael. Now, we are heading down towards where Byron was a little bit earlier, to Sydney's Waterhole. Maybe we might get lucky with a fish eagle. I did hear some lesser black-winged lapwings calling in this area when we first spotted that hyena. So you never know. And also, I have seen some owlets in this area, so I'm keeping a very sharp eye. We've seen the barred owlet. We need the white-faced scops, the scops and the pearl spotted to have an owlet out day, but I think we're probably going to have a bit more luck with some of those on the sunset safari. And I can't believe we haven't seen some of our more common species like the crested barbet, but that might change. We've still got time to build on our list so far. Oh, Joya has got an interesting question. How many species of owl are there in Africa? A lot. In Africa, I mentioned those owlets, barred, pearl spotted, white-faced scops, and then Verreaux's eagle owl, spotted eagle owl, Cape eagle owl, grass owl, wood owl, barn owl. 10, I might be missing one. Oh, is it what I think it is? Oh, it's flying. Darn it. Where are you going to go? Come closer to us, come closer to us. Little blue-grey flycatchers, but they are not sitting. Where did they go? I'm just listening. I heard a golden-breasted bunting calling. I'm just trying to see if that spot of yellow sticks out to me. Nope. Let's continue on. Now, my eyes keep getting drawn to these things, and it's all the dung beetles flying around that are making me, as I pick up the movement, I think, oh, is it a bird? But no, it is an insect. Now, they're going to be very, very happy in this weather. and you'll probably find quite a lot of them will be hatching today. So we can look forward to a dung beetle population explosion. And we haven't even seen magpie shrikes yet either. This is normally a good area for them. Now, because we're birding, Final Control also says they want to see a fish eagle because it's their favorite. VM, it's unfair that VM got to see 2 of his. And the place we've been seeing a juvenile fish eagle quite regularly is on Sydney's waterhole. VM, is that a leopard? On the dam wall. I just saw something moving there. A little bit to the right. Oh, it's a monkey. I just saw something pop up. It's a vervet monkey, not a leopard. Just the way it moved, I just saw it. I thought it was a leopard head popping up and having a look over the wall. Okay, so apparently you have checked Sydney's dam with Byron already, and we got buffalo weavers and a crowned lapwing. Well, from our rusty list, buffalo weavers are missing, and so are crowned lapwings. Now let's have a look. What are we looking at? Oh, no fish eagle today, VM. Dag and nabbit. I can hear a sunbird. Got it? Oh, what is that? Land. Babblers. Vim's got another one of his favorite. Sorry, Control. The arrow marked babbler. Oh, we can hear them. Where they gone now? Ah, opposite us, Vim. Here we go. Another one of VM's favorites, the arrow marked babbler. It seems like the birding gods are smiling upon VM. There we go. Babbling away. The arrow marked babbler, the only babbler species we get here. And of course I'm looking for sunbirds. Oh, Vim, up ahead of us. What are those 2 little birds in? Oh no, this roof. This roof. I'm gonna have to try go a bit further forward. Okay, I think we're gonna get them from here, just to make sure they don't fly off. In this tree there, right at the top. Aha! Swallows. Now, these are just arrived. We get 2 species here of the striped swallows. We get the lesser striped and the greater striped. So we're going to have a quick look. I'm pretty sure... Are we in full zoom, Bim? Let's try to get a bit closer. I'm pretty sure those are lesser striped swallows, but let's get a bit closer. Mind Warp was hoping lesser striped swallows. Well, I'm pretty sure they are the lesser striped swallows, and we're going to have a closer look now, and of course they are lesser striped swallows, so yay, another one for the list. Okay, let's go. One's flown off. Let's just try. Oh, this roof, VM, this roof is punishing us. Think you're going to get them from there? Yes. Here we go. Lesser striped swallows, a pair of them. Now, they build the most incredible mud nests, and they return every year to utilize those same nests. And quite often under the awnings of human habitation, even in caves, and sometimes even in disused aardvark burrows. Okay, there we go. Mind Warp. Lesser striped swallows for you, and we're getting quite close to my birding hotspot. Okay. For some reason, this area around the Gari Gate produces incredible species, and on quite a fair I'll regularly, if I feel like I need to bird, not so much in the afternoons, but in the mornings, just coming to this area around here. Normally you'll hopefully pop us a red-headed weaver, maybe a Swanson spur file, so fingers crossed. And also occasionally, yes, starlings. Let's have a look. We've got the greater blue-eared, but I can see some Cape glossies as well, so that's another one for our list. Okay, so we've got Birchills and a Cape glossy starling. You can see the color difference. We'll just zoom in there, make sure. Yes, it is Cape glossy. Doesn't have the black going all the way above the eyes like the greater blue-eared starling. So starling again. Yay for the Cape glossy starling. Okay, now as I said, this is one of my favorite little birding spots, and so far it's produced one new species. We got Cape glossy, tick. Okay, now where is English language, Leo Smith, where are the red-headed weavers and Swanson spurfowl? Also, occasionally we get some very good little raptor sightings around here. Gabar goshawk, dark chanting goshawk. Okay, here we go. Now, from here to the next little junction is, I don't know why it's such a good birding area. It's very similar to a lot of the other bush around here, but it just seems to produce. Okay, so we got about 100 meters that I call one of my birding hotspots. Let's hope it is, because it's birding big day, it's going to produce. Oh, there we go. Okay. Top of the tree there. Top of the tree. We have there we go. America sunbird. Yay, sunbird! I've heard them calling all day, and now we finally managed to get one chirping away. And that is a wonderful one. Oh, sorry, we're causing a traffic jam. Let me get off the road while we work our way through the birding hotspot. There we go. Sunbird. And we have the Mariko sunbird. Where is he? Yay for Mariko. Now, someone on their way to work. So we've got the Mariko sunbird. And there's a few other sunbird species we get. Now, come on, the red-headed weavers. We haven't even seen white-fronted helmet shrikes today yet, so we've got a lot to look forward to on the sunset safari. Now, Liz thinks we should go to Cheetah Plains to get 50 birds. Oh, it's an idea. I might go to Arathusa to check the Murakani as well. But I think the best chance of getting 50 birds is actually working Djuma properly. I can hear. What can I hear? Can we hear a bird party? Where? Okay. I can hear some birds coming up. Brew shrike. This is the spot where we see the red-headed weavers frequently. No Swanson spurfowl today. Yes, nice bird party. There's a bird party in my hotspot. Let's get there. Okay, here we go. I can hear the brew shrike. It sounds like an old telephone. What have we got there, Vim? You got it? There. Oh, listen to the hyena calling as well. It's the lesser spotted wolf bird. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I'm afraid we can't ID that. I didn't get a chance. But I don't know if you guys can hear the lesser spotted wolf bird calling in the distance. Heading back to the north. Turtle Trekking said lesser spotted wolfbird was a new bird for their list. Okay, well, I'm going to move up here. I'm going to go very slowly. I'm going to see if I can coax some birds out of the bush while we do that. Jamie has been waiting patiently to talk to you from the tent.
Been waiting patiently to talk to you from the tent. Now I'm talking. Well, I'm talking through the medium of the skull. I wanted all morning to play with skulls, and Jerry, it just didn't fit into the story of the morning. So now I'm playing with the skull. I'm having a great time. This is a wild dog skull, by the way, and I'm actually terrified I'm going to break it, so I'm doing this very, very gently. So, wait, let's do the closing like this. We shall do the closing like this, since we have reached the end of our tent segment and the end of the Sunrise Safari. So, thank you all for joining us, and thank you to Jean-Andre for his wonderful camera work as always. We are going to say farewell and see you on the Sunset Safari. This is very difficult to do. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you later. Bye-bye, everybody.
So those birds that I heard calling earlier that I said I've never heard before, what they were they were two young grey-headed bush shrikes. Now, I've never heard them make that sound before. Now, the grey-headed bush shrike, and I'll play the call for you, but I actually got off the car and I walked in the bush to go and look for them because it really, really bothered me. Now, that is what the grey-headed bush shrike looks like. There you can see it very clearly. There's a pair. Two of them. I'm just going to scroll a little bit here. There. That's what the beautiful grey-headed bush shrike looks like. And there were two youngsters that were calling constantly, and that was the sound. But I've never heard that sound before coming from these birds. They usually do this. That's the sound that they normally make. But it was 100% two young grey-headed bush shrikes, two juveniles. And the reason they were calling, I think they were looking for the adult, and the adult was actually on the other side of the road and eventually flew across and met up, and they flew and disappeared in through the thicket. Now, they're difficult to see, these little birds. They do prefer moving through dense bush and dense thickets. So I'm glad I've found out what it was, because it was really bothering me. But it was two juvenile grey-headed bush shrikes, which is very interesting. I'm going to carry on having a look around here for any other birds. I heard a hoopoe calling, but can't seem to find it just yet. And let's see, Brent's got some other new birds he'd like to show you.
There we go, the crested barbet. I know many were looking for a bedraggled crested barbet. It is quite far away in the distance, but nevertheless, it is another tick for birding big day. Preening himself, sitting up high. Oh, Vim. Straight over. It was James down on the ground, sorry. Oh no, there you got another one. Oh, go there. There we go, a little blue-grey flycatcher. Oh no, I apologize, it's not a blue. It is a blue-grey, it just looks funny in the rain. Just from the size, that is a little blue-grey flycatcher. Well, they've changed the name. It's now an ashy flycatcher. Sorry, I do apologize. I was using the old name. I did see a grey-headed sparrow somewhere as well, but it's flown off while we saw the flycatcher. And I think I can hear some parrots up ahead. So ashy flycatcher that was. It just looked not so ashy. It looked a little bit damp. Now we're looking carefully. Don Juan says he heard birds have different alarm calls for different threats. Do mammals also? Yes, they do, but for most human beings, it's near impossible to tell the difference. I've worked with some amazing trackers out in the bush. One in particular, who could tell the difference between squirrel alarm calls, whether it was alarming at a bird of prey or a leopard or a snake. I mean, I can hear that they're different, but it's such a nuance to hear the complete difference that I sometimes think I got it worked out, then not. The one thing I can do is I can tell the difference when a grey go-away bird is alarming at a bird of prey, but I can't tell the difference between if it's alarming at a snake or a leopard or a terrestrial predator. But you can definitely hear the difference in a grey go-away bird's alarm calls for birds of prey. Far more high-pitched. Now, I can't believe we have not seen a magpie strike. Magpie strike. Here we go, magpie strike, one of our more common ones that we've been missing. Normally very vocal. They haven't been so vocal. We've heard them a few times this morning, but this is the first time we are seeing them. Well, the redback shrike got away. The magpie did not. Oh, it looks like there's some more rain on its way. You can see there, look behind there, then you see it coming. Oh, good thing we've got a roof on. Does make birding tricky. But now we're going out to the short grass plains. Quickly across to Byron, who's got another bird.
And a beautiful emerald spotted wood dove. Look at that emerald coloration on the wings, everyone. You can see it just with a bit of light hitting it. Oh, that's lovely. The emerald spotted wood dove. And Jane, you asked if you could see one today, and there it goes, off it goes. So they do fly quite quickly, and that one's disappeared. I'm so glad you got to see that. So there we go, Jane, an emerald spotted wood dove for you. They're beautiful, beautiful little birds. Let's see, there's a lot going on here at the moment with this, with the bird life. I saw the green pigeons, but I know Brent did see them earlier. Let's see what else we can find around here. Fuzzman Sparkles, I can actually hear a laughing dove behind us somewhere, but I can't find it. It was calling a little bit further in through the thicket. I could hear a laughing dove, and we do see them quite regularly on drive. And then a red-eyed dove. We do get them occasionally. You do see them. You just need to look a lot harder. Helps if you know the call and listen out for the call. I'm hoping to find some more birds around here. Did see some woodland kingfishers, but I know Brent also showed you some of them earlier this morning. It's always nice to see the woodland kingfishers around there. Oh, in that large tree over there, just on the right hand side, there was a bird that flew in there. We need to try get that one. It is in there. So there, you see it fluttering around. Yeah, it's a cuckoo, everybody. But it's probably a little too far for us to get to the camera. Hold on. Let's quickly see if we can get this cuckoo. There it goes, and there it's gone. Oh no, it looked like an African cuckoo. Unfortunately, just too quick for us, and we know how elusive these cuckoos are. They can disappear very, very quickly. But anyway, it's been a wonderful morning. Great to see the lions. I'm glad we found the Nkuhuma Pride, and the birding's been fun now the last hour or so. Hopefully we'll do some more birding. I'm sure we will do some more birding later. Have a great day, great afternoon. Goodbye from myself and from Gert, and let's head back to Brent for his goodbye.
Okay, I've just checked the list. I couldn't help myself. We are on just ourselves 36 different species according to what we've been ticking as we're going. So the record for a morning safari is 38. Can we find 2 more bird species in the last few minutes, seconds? Panic at the disco. VM, look for birds. Why are there no birds? Oriole, I hear an oriole. One minute and 5 seconds. No. Why can we not see any birds? We're going to have to bird to the very end today. No birds. Millie in Cleveland says, have I ever seen a partridge in a pear tree? No, but I have seen a partridge in a mapani tree. 30 seconds. Well, I don't think we're going to break the 38, but I think we're in a good stead to get to the 50 over 2 drives, and I'm very excited for the Sunset Safari. It is birding big day. Hopefully we have lots of orioles, maybe some raptors if it's a bit warmer. Hopefully we don't need the roof, because that has cost us 3 or 4 species. But for now, from VM and myself and birding big day, goodbye!